What's up, YouTube? Capital G here. Alright guys, so today we're talking about Blackwings. Now, Blackwings is a deck that is very near and dear to my heart, and the reason that is because Blackwings is the first deck that I ever top 8'd a regional with. It's that deck that, got me that breakthrough as far as the regional circuit goes. And full disclosure, I don't hold any bias towards this deck, despite the fact that I have a long history with it. There isn't going to be any bias here in this video. Now, the reason I'm making this video is because I feel like Blackwings is a forgotten deck, and I don't mean that from the standpoint of the meta. I mean, that just happens to tons of decks, Decks can't keep up in certain formats, decks get bad in certain formats, things move on. But I mean from a justice standpoint, and the reason I say that is, you look at Blackwings, and I don't really think that it's that far-fetched to say from a competitive meta standpoint that it's probably one of the best, well-rounded, fair, balanced decks that Konami has ever made. I mean, in the span of the entire game, I look at the deck and, I can judge it on many different levels, and I'm just like balance, 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 balance. Let's just take it from a boss monster element. I mean, who's Blackwing's boss monster? We're gonna say Armor Master. It's a completely fair card. I mean, right now it's underwhelming, but I mean, we can even take away the power creep and think about how the card was 3 years ago when Blackwings had 3 Whirlwinds and 3 Kuluts. I mean, believe me, I topped the regionals with this deck. You weren't winning games off of Armor Master unless it was like the mirror match. It was just a utility card that you made every so often. Is that really comparable to something like Judgment Dragon, which pound for pound is the strongest easily summonable monster in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! Outside of maybe BLS? I mean, so I think we can all agree, boss monster, Blackwing's fair. You look at the fact that they have no floaters. I mean, there's no Gear Frame or Stratos where pretty much at any point of the game, turn 1, you summon this card and it automatically pays for itself. And oh, by the way, it has amazing stats too. You just don't have that in this deck. You look at the fact that none of these monsters, they don't self-sustain themselves. There is no Goblin Zombie, there is no Sangan, or, there's no Gravekeeper's Recruiting where every single time this monster dies, it instantly is going to replace itself with another monster. I mean, for God's sakes, the entire TG engine, the entire Tech Genesis deck basically floats. Everything allows you to get another monster. I mean, I look at this deck and I'm like, from almost every aspect, it's balanced. The OTK potential, I mean, this is something that people might get mistaken. It's never even been there with Blackwings. Blackwings is a deck that inherently plays slow. It doesn't have a lot of OTKs. The times that you do OTK with Blackwings almost always revolve around having Dark Arm Dragon, and that's not a Blackwing problem. That's a Dark Arm Dragon problem. It's not Blackwing's fault that, you almost had game and then it was like, oh wait, drop 2,800 damage on top of that. Now I think it's game. You know what I mean? Even when Blackwings had 3 Gales, I mean, all the OTKs revolved around Dark Strike Fighter. So, I mean, you always look at these OTKs that Blackwings had in the past, and they were always revolving around 2 cards. Dark Strike Fighter, Dark Arm Dragon. That's not really a Blackwing problem. You look at the way that the deck has always pretty much won in the past. I mean, 2 power cards. Black Whirlwind, Royal Oppression. Royal Oppression's gone, so there's no more of that, put a monster on board, lock down your opponent with Oppression. Oh, wait, I can still use my value. I can still put a 2,500 on board for free, and you can't negate it. You know what I mean? So I look at the deck, and I'm like, from every aspect, the deck has nothing but fair plays, but we've pretty much forgotten that cards like Black Whirlwind, Gale the Hurricane, and Kulut are all still, they're all still limited, and it's just like, why? I mean, let's just break those down for a second. I mean, and this is just one of the mind-blowing things. I mean, can you really believe that Gale is limited to 1, but Judgment Dragon is at 3? Like, just think about that. Like, listen to that for a second. Does that even sound right? Judgment Dragon at 3, Gale at 1. I mean, Gale is a card that it was basically banned because it allowed you to put a ton of damage on board, and then Dark Strike Fighter just basically swept in whatever. It finished up whatever battle damage you couldn't do. The game it's evolved. I mean, that was 3 years ago. This card shouldn't be limited. Some people might take offense with Black World when they say, oh, Capital G, it's up auto +1 every single turn. What the fuck is Wind Up Factory? And the funny thing is, I didn't see anybody putting Wind Up Factory on their banned and restricted list last format. I still don't see people putting that on their banned and restricted list now. Any type of mock list that people may have created. And here's the mind-blowing thing. Toy Factory works on both turns. Toy Factory is 3 times the card that Whirlwind will ever be. It has absolutely no restrictions. It works on both turns. Oh, by the way, you can trigger it by summoning monsters from the hand. Like, it triggers when you activate effects from the hand. Are you kidding me? You know, and then people might counter by saying, oh, well, then we can just ban Wind Up Factory. Excuse me, what's Madoche Ticket? Madoche Ticket, again, just like Black Whirlwind, just like Black Whirlwind, the only difference is it has no restrictions on the monster that you can search. I mean, Black Whirlwind is a card where it's far, far, far dated. I mean, this card should not be limited at all. It should be at 3. Now, again, some people might have problems with Kulut because I made a very good living during that regional out of dropping double Kulut during the battle phase, but this card isn't honest. It's not the card that honest is. It's not like you use it and it's pretty much uncounterable and it's guaranteed your opponent's monster is going to die and you'll probably do some battle damage. Kulut basically has a limiter on it. Like, it tops out. It maxes out at 1400, which means you're not always guaranteed that your monster's even going to live. Sometimes you might just lose, you know, less life points, and that might be enough to keep you in the game. Now, you can say, well, Capital G, what if your opponent attacks directly and then drops 2? I mean, yeah, I get that. I did that a lot during the regional. I did it 3 times, but that's not a me problem. That's a you problem. Don't leave your field open. You leave your field open, your opponent attacks you with Shura and drops 2 Kaluts. That's your problem. You left your field open. As far as I'm concerned, you deserve to lose. I don't care how it happened. Don't leave your field open. You know, so when we look at Blackwings, from every aspect, the deck's basically balanced. You even look at the biggest power cards in the deck, Kulut. Okay, don't leave your field open, play smart. You probably won't have that big of a problem with it. You look at Black Whirlwind. We've already pretty much noted that there are 2 cards that far outweigh the benefits of this card. Black Whirlwind has too many limits. It doesn't work on both turns. I mean, it's just not the card that it once was. And the fact that by nature of the deck, Blackwings is a slow-paced deck that doesn't have very much OTK power. I mean, all the OTKs revolved around Dark Strike Fighter, Brio, or Dark Arm Dragon. All of those are pretty much non-issues anymore outside of Dark Arm Dragon. You don't have the oppression lockouts anymore using Bayu. You know, the deck is just, it's not what it was before. And I'm not saying that's the reason why you should unlimit it, because that's what Konami has done with Lightsworn. They're saying, well, it's not good, let's just give it all its support back. I'm saying that these cards are no longer what they were before. I mean, it's not like Whirlwind is the only card of its sort. And I don't know if anybody has ever seen the movie The Dark Knight Rises, but I feel like Bane, when he gave that speech in front of City Hall about justice and Harvey Dent and stuff like that, like, this is the deck that, like, if I was controlling Konami, I'd unlimit everything in Blackwing, because I don't think anything deserves to be limited. It's like, I give the deck back to the people. I give it to you. You know, do as you wish. So, thank you guys for watching as always. Let me know what you feel about this, because it's kind of silly that Lightsworn is a deck that it slowly but surely had all its pieces given back to it. But Blackwing in 3 years, the only thing that is gone back is 1 Kulut. Are you kidding me? Like, why is Whirlwind not at 3? It's hilarious. So I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you for watching.